attack with the Gemini Elves. You. Cartoons are so violent these days.
Hello, welcome to the channel. I cannot believe it's 20 years old already. Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, Pyramid of Light. Holy crap, that was such a big... Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel is more part of my life, bigger for me than Pokemon was. And Pokemon was a huge thing, big phenomenon, big part of my life and all my friends and family and everything. But then Yu-Gi-Oh! Came along and that was basically for the longest time was Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all I cared about. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just so big amongst me and my friends and stuff. It was crazy. And this movie was right at the peak of that, and then right before... You know, you're getting to the Doom Saga, but then right when the manga was ending, so you're all sad when you see the ending, and God, it's so emotional. But the movie, such a cool movie. I remember going, we went, and we saw it every day, like, every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. And constantly got the cards, and it was great. Great time with the family, and then, of course, my friends, and then when you got the DVD, you're supposed to get, like, hollow versions of the cards that you got at the movie theater. That didn't happen, so that was disappointing. But you had awesome stuff like Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, bad card, but still a neat idea. And the movie was just amazing. And then they re-released it in 2018 to go with the Dark Side Dimensions movie. So it was nice to see that movie, which is a 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, infinite. Wow, super amazing, beautiful film. And in this film, also like a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love it. But I can't believe 20 years old, and it's still hard to believe. And I remember the memories there, and it was great seeing it again in 2018, which was a weird year release, but I get it because it went with that. But now we're 20 years. I wish they would re-release it again because it looked great and like in high def and just this great. Like you could see the colors and the detail and everything. And it was an amazing movie. And it was basically just this movie that involved Yugi and friends, Yugi, Anzu, Taya, that is for you English speakers, Joey, Tristan and all them going against this new bad guy, Anubis, and then he had his Sphinx monsters and everything. Kaiba, we got to see Pegasus again, which was basically one of the highlights of that movie. Amongst so many things, I'll go over a bunch of the highlights. I also have a special guest, a buddy of mine, AnimeWarlord, Alex, and he's going to briefly just talk about his memories and his love of, well, this movie, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. But I just love the voices of everyone in the dub. Like, I prefer the Japanese just for the fact that, well, I know everyone goes crazy for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Theme, but no. Once you've heard the actual Japanese openings and endings, like 20 years ago, 21 years ago or so, I've never went back to wanting to listen to the dub music ever again. But I still prefer, like, the dub voices, like Dan Green and Eric Stewart especially. Eric Stewart especially, he is Kaiba. And I just love what he brought to Kaiba, and I would love to see them do... like, uncut, original stuff, without all the stupid, dumb censorship. A lot of it is just really stupid censorship. Well, censorship in general is just always stupid, no matter what it is. And it was just funny, just that they did release a couple of episodes of the series uncut with these voices, but, you know, you're not going to get all 200-plus episodes, unfortunately. But it's just, I would love to see like that with him and them voicing, which would be awesome. And it was awesome for those few episodes. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, The Pyramid of Light, August 13th. So we're putting it up this week in honor of it. And that was an amazing stuff there. You just remember all the cards there. Goat decks, everything on that, Chaos decks. Such a good time for Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of memories with them. We did our own like KC Grand Prix, our own little tournaments, stuff with the boss, with our deck masters and all these little things we did like in the anime. It was fun. It was a good time. We had a blast with it. This movie is amazing. 20 years old still. I just can't believe that was 20 years ago. Wow. It's still better than everything out nowadays. And Alex, his love of that movie and of this. So I appreciate and thank him for coming on and talking about this. It's always nice to hear from him and see him. And to hear his input on this, especially since I know how much he loves Yu-Gi-Oh! So after this, then we'll go on to just a few more things about this, reminiscing maybe some of my favorite moments and things of the movie. So thank you, Alex. Take it away.
Wow. 20 years. Kinda hard to believe that Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie is that old. Hello, Jay. Thank you for having me. So my thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie. Once again, it's still hard to believe that this movie is officially 20 years old in the year 2024. I remember going to my local Blockbuster and just basically renting the shit out of it because I would literally not rent anything else. All I would just basically do was rent Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie from time to time. And every single time whenever I would rent Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, I would always load up my deck onto my dual disc and I would always just basically pretend like I'm in the actual movie itself. Good times, man. Good times. I honestly wanted to see this movie in the theater back in the day, but unfortunately, it never really came out to where I was living at the time. But my girlfriend got a chance to see it in the theater, which I think is really awesome, and she told me that it was a really cool experience for her back in the day, too. And you know, Jay, I find it a little bit crazy that a lot of people talk about how legendary Bonds Beyond Time was, and how amazing of a conclusion for the Duel Monsters arc of the anime with Dark Side of Dimensions was. And I don't really hear a lot of people talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie Pyramid of Light. It's like, has it been like lost to time for the past 20 years? Did it just basically come and go? Because that's honestly what I honestly thought, but it still hasn't left my mind ever since 2004. And every now and then, whenever I get free time to myself, I always like to go back and rewatch it, or sometimes I reread it. What do I mean by that? It's because I have the AnimeManga. 1 second. Yep, there it is, man, in its full glory. And this is a must-have for any collector for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mangas out there. Now, my overall thoughts on the film, I still think that Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie is super fun. It still holds up to this very day. I mean, yeah, sure, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie isn't canon to the Duel Monsters arc of the anime, but still, though, it's just a phenomenal movie that I love to go back, rewatch, reread, and I've seen this movie so many times that every single line of dialogue 20 years later is etched into my brain. The comedy can still get a laugh out of me 20 years later, and of course, Anubis. Ooh, don't even get me started on Anubis, because I think Anubis is my second favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Villain. My first favorite villain is good old Dragon Penis himself, Zorko Necroface. But overall, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie is still enjoyable. I still have a total blast with it, and I always will for years to come. Jay, once again, I would like to say thank you for having me on your channel, and at some point or another in the future, I want to collab with you too. Keep it gnarly, my friend.
Again, thank you. Appreciate it. And also, rest in peace, Kazuki Takahashi, the creator. I still can't believe it's been, what, 2 years already? Wow, amazing man. And what I loved about him, too, was not that he just created basically the most perfect thing ever. Yu-Gi-Oh!, the anime, the manga, the card game, everything about it is absolutely amazing. And I love GX, too. But then, 5Ds had the great mechanics and everything, but I stopped in the anime. But Kazuki Takahashi, and then I loved how his art just kept changing. Improving, I guess you could say, but I just love how it went from this to this. And he was immensely talented, and I thank him so much for just giving the world Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I still think, I don't know, I love Pokemon, but I don't know, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't know. But let's get into just a few more things about 20 years of this awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, The Pyramid of Light.
But they were just innocent tunes. You'll pay for that.
There's a lot of jokes and innuendos in this movie, which is very amazing, very fascinating, what I loved about it. Again, being the 4 kids movie. And then there's Joey and Tristan. Tristan had a lot of funny lines in this, even though technically he's always like that background character that doesn't do much. But it was fun hearing him and seeing him do things in this movie. Where Joey's like, I smell something fishy, man. Sorry, that was me. Who the hell says that? What the hell is that? What the And there's a lot of jokes and jabs again with Kaiba and his snarky remarks. They're just wow. And you gotta love, that's why Kaiba's the best character in the series. And still, like, my favorite character, probably, if I had to choose in all of anime. I love him. And Eric Stewart just does an amazing job with those deliveries and those lines. Him and Pegasus. Get a room, you two. Just kidding. But it was just how it was. It's electrifyingly just amazing. It's getting back all those memories after we saw it again in 2018. All memories, as doing this, remembering how we reacted seeing this in 2018, how I remember it back in 2004. And again, what I liked about the movie was for 4 kids, there was Pet in the Dark Clown. Like, you get this shot, it's from the shadows, but he stabs, and you see the knife, dagger, or whatever, go right through Yugi's chest. And this scream and this bloodstream. And then there's some They drink wine. Pegasus drinking wine. There's blood, and there's like the cave collapsing, people dying. You see it like in an old horror movie. It's pretty good. There's like cleavage now. They're not taking away the cleavage for female characters. There's bouncing breasts throughout the movie, especially with the Toon Gemini elves. So it's like, holy cow, this was the bad stuff. We had the censor in the card game and in the anime, cleavage, pentagrams, religious symbols, blood, but then this has it in there, which was very cool and very awesome to see. And yeah, it's nice to, it's good to see some cleavage. Women have them. Get over it. A lot of deck jokes. Dust off your deck, old man. From Kaiba, and then only my deck can do this. Only with the power of my deck can cause you to... It's like a lot of deck talks, you know. I love it. Kaiba boy, let's not get nasty. At least not yet. Stuff like that, I love it. Joey gets his ass injected by Injection Fairy Lily at the knee. Taya does the same. She is like on the helicopter coming down like, he needs me. Yugi and my friends need me. I'm coming. It's a sparkly thing there. I know it's not, but it just takes this thing like, she's like, I'm coming. She's saying that while sparkly making this face. Love all these choices. You get to see the Egyptian god cards again. Obelisk, Slifer, Osiris, and Ra. And they had this odd thing where they can fuse or whatever, do something. They had like, you put them together and there's infinite attack of infinity. And it's like, what on earth even is that? But it's so cool to see them again on the big screen. The God card's amazing. And then again, in the Dark Side of Dimensions, damn, they looked freaking like, you would definitely drop to your knees in horror looking at these things being summoned upon you. The movie gave us a lot of Joey moments. He makes his face, and the new one too. He does his moments, he says his lines, he actually gets to do a little, he's awesome. It's fun seeing Joey, because Joey's a great character. And it was great seeing all the new cards. I like the old cards in there. You get to see Dark Magician Girl got to show up, you got Toon Dark Magician Girl in this movie, you got the Toon Gemini Elves, Boinky Boinky, Bouncy Bouncy, which is great. A lot of fun. Great cartooniness there. Amazing. Just great seeing the Toons again. And then I believe this is the first time we get to see Magician's Valkyrie, which is a very good card in the game, so it was nice seeing her animated and amongst all the other magician cards. And of course, Kaiba, he had a Blue Eyes Jet. The man's so badass. The man is amazing. I love him so freaking much. He's so cool. And then just the love that he has for his brother Mokuba is just so touching and sweet for this bad guy that he is. He's not really a bad guy. He's just a smug, lovable SOB. And I love him for that. And holy cow, again, it was just, the highlights. Seto Kaiba, bitches. He is amazing. He is the greatest. And Pegasus, just that alone to see Pegasus back again. I know how it is in the manga, but in the anime it's different, so it's nice to see Pegasus back. The more Pegasus, the merrier, and the better. We also got the Queen's Knight joke, King's Knight, Jack's Knight. The Sphinx cards were really neat. Sphinx Talea was, gorgeous hair, beautiful face. Even with that mouth, that's kind of like Mortal Kombat-ish. Freaky, but, maybe I wouldn't say, but Wadapon was cute. I like the new little knight. Wadapon, Familiar Knight was kind of cool. Rare Metal Dragon. Gee, I'm still picturing the Darkness, the Toon Girls coming out of Toon World. They were coming out of people. Anyway, enough of the jokes and innuendos here, but that's what 4Kids deserves when they try to make it too kid-friendly and censorship, and this movie was like, yeah, we're going to do that. Geez, and then some violent stuff and horrific scenes with Anubis grabbing Kaiba's head, and then just, some dark stuff. Love it. More importantly, just like in 2018, so many memories and flashbacks and nostalgia from what it was back in 2004, of not just the film itself, just what the series meant to me and so many others at the time, so many friends made through it and still got quite a good chunk of them together, and we still enjoy the game, mostly the speed dueling or just playing casually, but it's still such an amazing thing. And then this, right now, talking about this, again, thank you, Alex. It's awesome hearing from you as always, buddy. And just, it's bringing back the memories of when talking about this back in 2018. So I really wish they would re-release this, among other things. Pokemon, the first movie? Come on, 25 years? It's just such a great movie. Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything. And then also, to end on, just the critics I whined about this with people last time when you see people like, who listens to Rotten Tomatoes? No one pays attention to Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, it's who you want, it's your own mind. Rotten Tomatoes people are usually paid shills anyway to like something when it's usually garbage or whatever. But a lot of people complaining that this and the new movie, which was pretty much loved by the majority, 99% of fans of Yu-Gi-Oh! Love the Dark Side Dimensions. And they recall these films, this is just another movie to sell a product, and so they give it a bad score. It's like, everything is to sell product. Everyone whines about, like, well, the cartoon was made to sell figures. It's like, no duh. Pokemon's made to sell the card game in the video game. Yu-Gi-Oh's made to sell the manga. Most anime, unless it's original anime, is made to sell the manga. That's why they make it in Japan. They want you to buy the manga, so they make an anime. But that is usually the purpose of it. Whenever someone makes anything, any movie, Disney, when they make any movie, you name any company, these people suck the you-know-what of. Everything is made to do this. Of course, nowadays, they're not made to sell anything except... They're not made to make money nowadays for movies, sadly. They're made to sell you stuff to force things onto you and everything else, and that's why they suck nowadays. But that's the case. This is a wonderful movie. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, you'll enjoy it. You'll love both films. So great to think about this movie. 20 years, amazing film. The Pyramid of Light, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie. Stay there, my friends. We'll see you next time. Let us know what you think of the memories from this, if you have any, or Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. You know, there's still a few months left in the year, so who knows? Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. And then we got another thing coming up about movies, a 10 list of movies that should be re-released here for their anniversary years. Thank you so much. Stay on, my friends. And game on.
That's all, folks.